The private dining lounge was designed to make people nervous. Not because it was dark, it wasn't. Crystal chandeliers poured warm light over polished wood, silk curtains, and a long obsidian table that reflected faces like a black mirror. The unease came from what the room represented. Deals ended here. Lives changed here. Sometimes lives ended here. Every person who entered felt it in their chest before they understood it in their mind. Nia Brooks felt it too, but she didn't flinch. She moved with measured calm, a tray balanced perfectly in her left hand, her right hand steady as she poured wine into glasses that cost more than her monthly salary. Her black and white uniform was crisp, almost severe. Her hair was pulled into a tight bun at the nape of her neck, no jewelry, no perfume, invisible by design. At the head of the table sat Kang Min-jun. He wasn't loud, he wasn't large. He didn't need to be. Power gathered around him the way heat gathers around fire. His posture was relaxed, almost careless, one arm resting on the chair, fingers tapping once every few seconds. His suit was charcoal gray, perfectly tailored, the fabric catching light subtly when he moved. No visible weapon. He never carried one in public. Other men carried weapons for him. To his right sat Carolina Costa. She looked like she belonged on magazine covers, not in rooms like this. Smooth olive skin, dark hair cascading over one shoulder, lips painted a soft red that suggested warmth instead of danger. Her hand rested lightly on Kang Min-jun's arm, possessive but elegant. She smiled easily. Too easily. Around them were lieutenants, businessmen, men who pretended they were only investors. Nia recognized the type. They spoke in low tones, laughed politely, and never raised their voices. Men who ordered deaths with a nod. Nia placed a plate in front of Kang Min-jun and stepped back. He nodded once. A small gesture, but he looked directly at her when he did it. That alone made her pause. Nia had learned early how to disappear. Growing up in neighborhoods where attention was dangerous, she learned that survival often meant being overlooked. Teachers forgot her name. The police never remembered her face. Employers noticed her work, but never her presence. She didn't resent it. She used it. Working at Jade Crown, an elite private restaurant that catered exclusively to powerful clientele, had taught her something important. People speak freely around those they believe are beneath them. They thought waitresses were furniture. They thought wrong. As Nia moved toward the service corridor, she caught fragments of conversation drifting across the room. Shipment rerouted. Midnight window, no witnesses. Her steps slowed. Not because she was curious. Because she was trained by life to recognize danger. The lacquered screen near the kitchen corridor was decorative. Hand-painted cranes stretched across it, elegant and harmless. Behind it, voices lowered. Nia pretended to adjust her grip on the tray as she paused just close enough to hear. Two men spoke. Their accents were sharp, controlled. "Security shift change is already arranged," one said. Snipers confirmed. "Rooftop and parking structure. Exit route compromised." A pause, then a chuckle. "No need. He won't leave alive." Nia's heart thudded once, slow, controlled. She stayed still. "Inside access," the other voice asked. "Handled," the first replies. The fiancé arranged everything, clean, elegant, no mess. Time seemed to tilt. Carolina Costa, who else? The name echoed in Nia's head like a gunshot. Nia stepped away from the screen before her presence could be noticed. Her face remained neutral. Her breathing stayed even. Inside, her thoughts raced. A planned assassination. Tonight. Here. And the betrayal came from the woman sitting beside him, touching him, smiling at him, calling him mine in quiet ways. Nia had seen Carolina up close. The affection looked real. The laughter sounded genuine. That was what made it terrifying. People like Kang Min-jun didn't die easily, but when they did, everyone nearby became collateral damage. The staff, the witnesses, the unimportant people. People like Nia. She could have said nothing, finished her shift, gone home. She never heard a word. That was the smart choice. But Nia had buried friends who made the smart choice. She had watched entire apartment blocks suffer because one powerful man fell violently and someone needed to clean up loose ends. And there was something else. Kang Min-jun wasn't kind, but he wasn't cruel. He didn't snap his fingers. He didn't humiliate staff. When mistakes happened, he corrected them quietly. Once, months ago, another patron grabbed Nia's wrist in anger. Kang Min-jun had looked at the man and said calmly, "Let her go." The man obeyed. No scene, no threat, just authority. That memory burned now. Nia returned to the service station. Her hands hovered over the order pad. Her mind screamed at her to stay silent. But silence, she knew, was already killing someone. She tore a small piece from the pad. Her pen hovered. "What do you write to a man like that? Not emotion, not panic, only truth." Her hand moved. "Your fiancé sold you out. Snipers. Midnight. Trust no one but the bearer." She stopped. Too long, too vague, too dangerous. She folded the paper once, then again, small enough to disappear in a palm. Crossing the room felt like walking across ice. Every step echoed in her chest. The laughter around the table sounded distant, artificial, like noise underwater. Carolina leaned closer to Kang Min-jun, whispering something that made him smile faintly. Nia approached with the wine bottle. Her angle was precise. Her timing is exact. She poured, and as she withdrew her hand, she slid the folded note beneath Kang Min-jun's resting fingers. Just enough contact, just enough pressure. Then she stepped back. For half a second, nothing happened. Then Kang Min-jun's fingers tightened. Not abruptly, deliberately. He did not look down. He did not react. Instead, his gaze lifted and met Nia's. The world narrowed. In that instant, she understood something terrifying. This man could decide her fate with a thought. His eyes searched her face not for fear, but for truth. She gave him nothing. No plea, no panic, no apology. Only stillness. After a long breath, he folded the note beneath his palm and smiled. "Dessert," he said calmly, "for everyone." Conversation resumed. Carolina laughed. Nia walked away on legs that felt borrowed. Kang Min-jun waited exactly 30 seconds. Then he rose. "Excuse me," he said politely. Carolina's hand slid along his sleeve. So soon he kissed her knuckles. "Business." He left the table with 2 guards. In the corridor, he unfolded the note. Read it once, then again. He didn't frown. He didn't panic. He asked one question. "Where is the waitress?" Nia was in the staff hallway when a shadow fell across her path. One of Kang Min-jun's guards stood there. "Come with me." Her heart kicked hard, but she nodded. As she followed him deeper into the private corridors, Nia realized something chilling. The plan to kill Kang Min-jun had included everyone except her. She was the variable no one accounted for. Back in the dining room, Carolina checked her watch. 11:42 p.m. Everything was on schedule. Outside, unseen eyes watched rooftops. In the garage, engines idled. In the control room, security feeds flickered, subtly altered. And somewhere between all of it, a quiet waitress stood in a private hallway, facing the most dangerous man in the room. Kang Min-jun studied her. Why did he ask, simply? Nia swallowed and answered. The hallway smelled faintly of citrus cleaner and polished wood. Too clean, too controlled. Kang Min-jun stood a few feet from Nia Brooks, hands loosely clasped behind his back. The guards flanked the corridor entrances but did not move closer. He didn't need them to. Why did he repeat? Nia felt the weight of the question pressed against her ribs. She chose her words carefully. "Because if you die tonight," she said quietly, "everyone who worked in this room disappears with you. And because the people planning it believe no one like me is listening." Silence followed. Not the awkward kind, the evaluating kind. Kang Min-jun tilted his head slightly. "You're afraid?" he observed. Yes, Nia replied, but you're still here. She met his eyes. Fear isn't the same as silence. Something unreadable crossed his face. Kang Min-jun did not trust instincts alone. Instincts were for amateurs. He trusted patterns, consistency, and cost. Tell me exactly what you heard, he said. Nia repeated the details. Midnight snipers, altered security routes. Inside access, Carolina's name spoken without hesitation. She did not embellish. She did not beg. She simply told the truth. When she finished, Kang Min-jun turned to his head of security. Check everything, he said calmly, quietly. The guard nodded once and disappeared. Kang Min-jun looked back at Nia. If you're lying, he said, you die before midnight. I know, Nia replied. That honesty sealed something between them. Back in the dining room, Carolina Costa noticed the delay. Kang Min-jun has never been gone this long. She kept her smile steady, fingers tracing the rim of her glass. 11:49 p.m. She excused herself gracefully. I need to powder my nose, she said lightly. No one questioned her. They never did. In the restroom, she locked herself into a stall and pulled out her phone. No signal. Her jaw tightened. That hadn't been part of the plan. In the security control room, feeds began to correct themselves. Cameras once angled away now faced entrances. Blind spots vanished. The head of security swallowed hard. Sir, he said into his mic, someone rerouted the feeds earlier tonight. Credentials trace back to internal. Kang Min-jun listened without reaction. Continue, he said. In the garage, engines were shut down. On rooftops, silhouettes were quietly surrounded. The snipers never saw who took them. Nia stood exactly where she'd been told to stand. She didn't pace. She didn't fidget. That alone impressed Kang Min-jun. You understand, he said slowly, that even if you're telling the truth, you are now dangerous. I understand, she replied, and yet you spoke. She hesitated, then answered honestly. Because people like me don't get many chances to change outcomes. He studied her. She wasn't trying to be brave. She simply was. The clock struck at 12 a.m. Nothing happened. No shot, no chaos, no screaming. Just the quiet collapse of a plan that had expected blood. Carolina's phone buzzed once. A single message. Abort. Her breath caught. She stepped out of the restroom and nearly collided with two guards. Sir wants to see you, one said. She smiled reflexively. It didn't reach her eyes. The private room was smaller than the dining hall. Intimate. Unforgiving. Kang Min-jun sat at the table alone. A single folded note lay between them. Carolina's eyes dropped to it. Her smile finally broke. You trusted a waitress, she said softly. After everything, he didn't raise his voice. I trusted silence, he replied. Yours was too loud. She laughed, then sharp, bitter. You were going to outgrow me, she said. I just chose the timing. He nodded once. That, he said, is why you failed. The guard stepped forward. Carolina didn't scream. She only looked at the note again, at the handwriting, at the quiet hand that had undone her. By 12:17 a.m., everything was over. The attackers were contained, the betrayal documented, the lie dismantled. Kang Min-jun stood alone in the hallway once more. Nia waited where he'd left her. You saved my life, he said. She didn't respond. That doesn't mean you're safe, he added. She nodded. I wouldn't expect to be. That honesty again. It followed her like a shadow. Before dawn, Nia Brooks ceased to exist. Her name vanished from staff records. Her uniform was burned. Her apartment was emptied quietly. At a safe location miles away, she found an envelope. Inside, a new passport, enough money to start over. A single line of text. Silence is power. Use it wisely. She closed the envelope with steady hands. By morning, rumors spread. Not about the failed assassination, Not about Carolina Costa, but about the waitress, the one no one saw, the one Kang Min-jun listened to. Men began to watch their words, to fear the quiet, because now they know power didn't always announce itself. Sometimes it poured wine. Nia Brooks became Amara Hale on paper. The passport said she was born in Lisbon. The stamp said she had traveled lightly. The bank account said she owed no one anything. The truth was quieter. She rented a small apartment near the coast-white walls, wide windows, the sound of waves replacing traffic and sirens. She took a job at a bookstore cafe where no one asked questions beyond coffee orders. She spoke little, listened more. Some habits never leave. At night, she still checked exits, still noted faces, still remembered how silence could bend the world. Weeks passed, then months. Life settled into something that almost felt safe. Almost. But some nights, she dreamed of the folded note, of Kang Min-jun's eyes not cruel, not kind, evaluating. She told herself it was over. That powerful men didn't look backward. She was wrong. The message came on a burner phone she didn't remember buying. One vibration, one line. "Are you still listening?" Her pulse didn't spike. That scared her more than fear would have. She powered the phone off, then on again. No reply. Just coordinates. And a time. But he listened more. Carolina's betrayal had not made him cruel. It had made him precise. Empires didn't fall from attacks. They fell from what they ignored. And he had learned never to ignore the quiet again. Nia sat on the edge of her bed for a long time. She had been given freedom, safety, a chance to vanish. And yet silence, once learned, doesn't unlearn itself. She dressed simply, left no note, and walked into the night. The cafe was nearly empty. Rain traced the windows in slow lines. Kang Min-jun sat alone at a corner table. No guards, no entourage, just 2 cups of tea already waiting. She sat across from him. "You shouldn't have come," he said. "Neither should you," she replied. A pause, then a faint smile. "I don't want you to work for me," Kang Min-jun said. "That's good," Nia replied, "because I wouldn't." He nodded. "I want you to listen." She said nothing. "People tell me lies constantly," he continued. "You hear what they say when they think no one matters. And what happens to those people?" she asked. "They survive," he said honestly. "Because they prevent wars." She considered that. Nia leaned back. "You don't need another weapon," she said. "You need restraint." Kang Min-jun studied her as if she were a chessboard he'd never seen before. "You're not afraid of me anymore," he said. "I was never afraid of you," she answered. "Only of what happens when men like you fall." That answer stayed with him. They never formalized it. No contract, no title. Nia didn't sit in meetings, didn't issue orders. She listened, observed, flagged danger before it spoke too loudly. Sometimes she sends one sentence, sometimes one word, sometimes nothing at all. And disasters simply didn't happen. Whispers spread again. About a woman no one could describe, about deals that collapsed quietly, about betrayals that died before they were born. Some called her the listener. Others called her the ghost. Kang Min-jun called her something else. Necessary. One night, Nia received a report. Another betrayal. Another lover. Another opportunity to act too late. She walked into Kang Min-jun's office. "This one won't fail the same way," she said. "Nothing ever does," he replied. She placed a folded note on his desk. He looked at it, then at her. "Do you still trust the quietest woman in the room?" she asked. He smiled. Only her. Years later, historians would argue about how Kang Min-jun's empire lasted so long. They would cite strategy, fear, timing. None would mention a waitress or a note, or a woman who learned that silence wasn't absence, it was leverage. Another private dining room, another powerful table, another quiet woman pouring wine. She pauses, listens, and the world tilts just slightly.